We are Centurion TV.
Now, in today's episode, we are going to be hearing from Mr. Brad over here about this amazing venue called Absolute Soul, the music that he does for a living, as well as the inspirational speaking. Also finding out what's the difference between motivational speaking and inspirational speaking. Now, if you are all interested in that, stay tuned right up until the end as he has an amazing music item that he's going to be playing. Hello, hi everyone. I am Kukrana Silwani, aka Clapback Studies, and you are tuned into We Are Centurion TV, where we are all about educating, inspiring, and informing the people of Centurion about what is happening. Now, today we have a really special guest who is a musician and an inspirational speaker, and we are also here at an amazing venue that he himself owns, which is called Absolute Soul here in Nandi. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Please call me Brad and don't call me sir. It's good to be here.
Brandon, eh?
Brad.
All right,
Yeah.
nice.
But you did us a bit of a disservice because you've been introducing yourself as KT, and then you said, "Hi, I am," and this big name came out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"How am I going to talk to this man now?" Is it okay if we call you KT?
Yes, it's
Okay.
perfectly fine. All right, Brad.
Good to be here.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
I'm Brad Cunningham. I live here in southern Centurion on this most magnificent, beautiful plot here in Nandi Agricultural Holdings. I married a beautiful wife. Her name is Mo, and she is whose father is a architect, and he was the one that provided the plans for this beautiful surrounds that we're in right now, which is Absolute Soul, and the setting for us to have this interview.
Wow, that is amazing. Can you please touch on Absolute Soul, this amazing place that many people probably don't even know about, that actually caters to so many services? Can you tell us about it?
100% right. Let me do that. So Absolute Soul was pretty much as you'll get to know my wife, I think she'll appear in later interviews. She has been in this business, I can't get the word catering out of my head. It's it'll come to me just now. Let me just keep going.
Yeah.
She worked for Avianto for hospitality. Why did it not? Why was that? It came. She's been in the hospitality industry. She's worked for some big names in this business.
Yeah.
She's brilliant at organizing things. She helps keep my life in tow, and she's really good at handling events. So pretty much what Absolute Soul is, we're a boutique venue. We're very dainty, very small, and we handle a maximum of about 50 people. That's pretty much what our infrastructure will allow. And we just created this space because this space here in nature amongst the trees, it really is a lovely, peaceful. You feel the peace when you come here. There's an energy that is around this place, and it surrounds. That is just so relaxing. We refer to it as the sanctuary even. That's how lovely it is, and we put a lot of intention in keeping it that way. So we like to celebrate life's glorious milestones, such as birthdays, such as weddings, particularly bridal showers, baby showers. You know, anything that is the milestones that are celebrating life itself.
Yeah.
We're open for bookings here. Me being a musician as well as my brother, we managed to twist my father-in-law, my wife's dad, who's the architect to design it, to create a stage space which is outside, so that we could very selfishly do our own performances whenever we wanted to as well. So it really is a blessing to be here. It's a special space. I'm sure you agree.
Yes, I can totally agree. The scenes are really beautiful. And I love that you say that it's all about celebrating life. That's what this boutique is about. You're celebrating your birthdays, your weddings, and it's so really beautiful, even if it is small. Now, Mr. Brad, can you please tell us about your inspirational speaking? Tell us about the journey. Tell us about how it started and where you are right now.
Absolutely, Katie. It started as far back as I can remember, even before I got into music. It was just this was something that I wasn't even conscious of. It just naturally led its way, and I think it's pretty much the universe's way of trying to show me the direction instead of me trying to drive a direction. Sometimes we've just got to allow things. So what would happen is our random strangers would just approach me and they would see something in me that they could trust. And it would happen that there'd be people I've just met, and they would just open up their laundry basket and take out the dirty laundry and say, "There it is." And I'm like, "We've just met, you don't hardly know me," but they just wanted someone to talk to. And for me, it was like just the empath in me would just come out, and I would then give them the counsel. I would seek deeper truths, and I'd find out I've been blessed with a little bit of intuition, which sometimes serves me perfectly, and other times leads me up a creek without a paddle. But I would then give the counsel that I could, and just to see them walk away with a lighter step and a happier heart and with less baggage. It's a privilege, man. I get the same kick of having a captive audience as just seeing a positive influence on somebody else. And as time went on, I just thought this was a normal part of life. And I carried on with the music, and then got the music bug, and then went straight into being cunning Brad, and not realizing I was casual coaching the whole time in between. So it was only a little bit later on in life when I started to think, now, all my original music that I write is not commercial. It's very deep, and it has, and it's very much your old school kind of writing, which doesn't have the commercial selling factor, which today's industry, I think, music industry, is built more on making money instead of making music. I make music. So I was thinking now, if a commercial hit is not too likely, I'm not ruling it out as an opportunity, but if it's not all that likely, then what is my purpose here? What is it that I'm doing? And it was only when I actually started to read my original lyrics of my original songs, they were all about instruction. They were all about inspiration. They were all about guidance, counseling, consulting, and it was like, then it kind of hit me like a sledgehammer. It's like it's been whispering to me all this time. So was it about 8 years ago or so? It was then suddenly, boom, coaching, consulting, inspire, uplift, enlighten, empower, and those pretty much sum up what I do there. And what's kind of cool is, because that is a big passion of mine, I also found a way to combine my two passions of music and inspiration, which we could talk about maybe when we talk about the music. But that's pretty much the part that got me onto the inspiration.
Yes, that is amazing. I can hear the passion in you as you speak.
Is that obvious?
Yes. All right. Can you also tell the viewers that perhaps don't even know that there's a difference between motivational speaking and inspirational speaking? Can you?
Yes. Let's even chunk it down less than that. Let's actually just look at the word inspiration, and let's look at the word motivation. A lot of people mistake the two, and there's a subtle difference between them. Whereas now inspiration is intrinsic, because it's inside of you, and motivation is extrinsic. It lies outside of yourself. So a lot of the times with motivation is looking at something outside of yourself to encourage you to get a job done. Now that can work really well in the short term, as in people, like for a person that is not doing a job that inspires them, is then being motivated by their salary. And what happens is that when they've done studies, when they look at businesses that have hired people and have given them cash incentives, what happens is production increases in a very short term. It starts off linear, so let's just say this is where it was. It increases short term, balances off, tapers, and then actually goes down to below where it was where it started out. That's inspiration. They reckon that money is the worst motivator ever, or the worst inspirer. So we've got to look at this thing now. So motivation is often a way of leveraging somebody to do something that they wouldn't initially want to do. So it's trying to get them keen to do so. I wouldn't say coerce or to manipulate. Those are quite rough words, but I think you feel what I'm trying to get at you. So that is the outside of yourself, that external reward that you consume, and then it's over. Now what? Whereas I believe that the crux of inspiration is really getting deep inside that person, which is KT.
Yeah.
What lights you up, man? What is the stuff that you'd be doing if you had nothing on your plate? What is the stuff that you normally end up doing in your spare time when you've got nothing else to do? What is the stuff that you gravitate to? What is, and then start to look at the start drawing, joining the dots. What is it like I did when I looked at my music and I looked at my lyrics? Join up all those dots. And then I got to what is my a deep fiery passion that is within me. So for me, it is finding out what lights you up and what is your and that's not easy, because a lot of us have been conditioned growing up to say, children should be seen and not heard. Do it this way, or you'll get a hiding. That's motivation right there. Motivation is all about either you get a reward at the end of it, or you get punished.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Whereas inspiration is when there's no reward or punishment, you're going to do it anyway. So a lot of the times we often have been conditioned to do what others expect of us, which is on their priorities and their values and on their inspiration list. They just project it onto you. And I think the big duty is to look at what it is that is you, and that's not so easy. But for what I'm doing in my inspiration, I mean, I've got my Success Loops Academy, which is, and I've got the various branches of it, which is either personal coaching, or there's even a membership where I've got 4 tiers. Yeah. Where the first year I make absolutely free, and that first year is pretty much dedicated to getting you back to your authentic self. Yeah. Rediscovering who was KT at his core, and what is your passions. Because I mean, 8 years ago, I found out, I mean, yes, music has been a passion, and I found that like 30 years ago, but to be able to combine these two passions and have a purpose, a fulfilling purpose out of it, that's success. Yeah. And so for me to take so long, much easier to make it shorter for other people. To really get to the core of it is to get to know your authentic self, really, because you were created. I believe that everyone being individual and being, geez, you must shut me up when you wanted to ask a question, because when I get going with this, then I just flow, man. I'm so passionate about this. So it is about finding that which, I do believe that everyone was created different for a reason. Yeah. I believe that there is a we were super consciously conspired for a reason. That's what makes you different to me. So what is the little essence that makes you different? And how can you leverage it to get the most fulfillment out of your life? And when you do that, guaranteed success is going to follow, man. Yeah.
All right. No, don't worry if you keep going on. This is what people want to know. They want to know, what is this inspiration that you speak of? And I love that you are passionate about it, because many people don't know that it's something that must come from within, as you had said. Now, can you then tell us when the music started and how it was incorporated in your life?
Yes, the music started. My mom was very musical. She could play piano, accordion. You know, if you don't know what a piano accordion is, it's one of these beasts of an instrument where it's got the keyboard keys, like a piano notes on the one side. It's got buttons on the other side which play the chords, and it's a wind instrument, so you're pumping air in and out to get the sound. Now, that's multitasking he did in an extreme. So my mom played piano, she played. There was always the radio on. There was always we had vinyls were what we listened to in those days. We called them records. Yeah. There was always music in our ears. So my brother, he got into music and picked up guitar. He's a little bit older than what I am, and then he discovered it while he was still at school. I only really got serious about the music when I was just out of school. So in high school, somebody came up to my brother when he was a senior and I was a junior, and said, "Look, do you want a guitar?" And my brother was like, "Sure." He said, "You play guitar? You want a guitar?" He says, "Well, it's in pieces and stuff. We threw it in that dustbin over there." So we got scraped out of the dustbin. My dad, who's always had he's had like craftsman's hands, he put it back together, and that's the guitar that I then inherited. So my first guitar was scraped out of a school dustbin, believe it or not. And it really wasn't the easiest instrument to play, so it sat in the corner of the room for quite a while. It was only pretty much until I was out of school that I really picked it up seriously and started to play this beast. Yeah. And then the bug bit. and I really got into it, and just naturally flowed with the music because it was just been in my house all the time. And so my brother's been a full-time musician for even longer than me. I've been a full-time musician for 30 years, and music is just, it's a beautiful medium. I mean, they say it's a universal language. I believe music is a frequency that can heal, and it can really. I use the music in my inspiration because because it just leverages your attention, retention, and recall, and it's a very powerful thing because if you hear a song, it always takes you back to another memory.
Yeah.
So I thought, how can I use that to teach success strategy, or prosperity therapy, as I like to call it. Yeah.
All right, now that is very much interesting about your story of how you had to use a guitar that was in the garbage bin. Now, can you please tell us what type of music do you make? Since you earlier on you spoke that you don't make commercial music because the music that you make is more meaningful and inspirational. So can you tell us more on that?
All right. My mom introduced us to a lot of genres in music. So I mean, if I had to choose specifically one that I grew up with, I would say it would be folk music. But I mean, there was classical, there was rock and roll, rock, country. So I've never really been too fussy with various music genres. I mean, music is something that resonates. Obviously, I have personal taste, but I would say that I grew up with to answer your question, how did it affect my songwriting? Is once I've learned to play an instrument and you actually start to study it, you start to pick it up and you start to get to know it, and you introduce yourself to it and it introduces itself to you. There were certain songs that I didn't find myself liking that now after learning them and I now love them. So I think your taste and your spectrum just grows when you discover more on something.
Yeah.
So there's no genres that I think I would ever cut out. If I had to judge music in any way, shape, or form, it would be, I don't care how slow, sad, melancholic it is, so long as there's a melody to it. And I don't care how in your face and angry and pissed off it might be, so long as there's a melody to it. The other criteria is I love to weave with words.
Yeah.
So if there's lyrical content, does it tell a story? Is there some meaning? Obviously, then I'm going to relate to that, and that's flowed through in my songwriting. So I've written multi-genre. I mean, I've written songs that are just a instrumental where it's 4 guitar parts that actually just build on each other until there's this big production.
Yeah.
There's been songs that are, you could say, that are folk, that have been there's old school rock, new school rock, country. I also play harmonica as well. Blues, R&B. I love Johnny Clegg's music.
Yeah.
So Johnny Clegg, when he was with Jaluka and Savuka, and I even wrote a song to pay tribute to Johnny Clegg's style of music.
Oh, wow.
And the lyrics just brought it out of Another Child Born to Africa, and that, so it actually just lent itself to paying tribute to Nelson Mandela and his legacy, as well as Johnny Clegg's music and his legacy, and it's very much in that genre. I think they call it Maskati, is the genre of music.
Do you mean Maskandi?
Is it what I forgive my pronunciation, I do my best, but it's it's on my YouTube channel. It is there, and I got the magnificent choir called the Duduza Serenades, to come and do the backing vocals, and they just knocked it right out of the park. Whenever I perform the song with a backing track or so, and they get their parts with them singing, I get covered in goosebumps. Not because it's my song or my voice or anything. It's just their parts are just that you get that big chorus and that flow. That's just the celebration of music, and It's an addiction.
Yeah. All right. Now, can you give us your final remarks, especially speaking to the viewers now,
Yes.
about finding their inspiration, right? Because this channel is about inspiring and educating people, right? So can you tell them how you would say they should go about finding their life's purpose and so forth?
Absolutely, I can do that. We did touch on earlier, it's about, remember I said about getting in touch with your authentic self.
Yeah.
Okay, finding out what really makes you tick. There was the other thing that I also said that has escaped me now. Rewind, no, I'm kidding. The other one I would say that a lot of us, I would say that the biggest block to humanity at the moment is our worthiness.
Yeah.
Really, it's our worthiness. From day one, we have this feeling that we have to prove ourselves and that we're not enough.
Yeah.
I even have a lot of affirmations on my YouTube channel, the Success Loops Instrumental Inspiration YouTube channel, where there's free content there. And a lot of it is worthiness. And I got very inspired just to build worth. Because, like I said earlier, if our creation was super consciously conspired, there's no fault there. We don't actually have to prove ourselves, because there is divine genius that went into creating you, creating me, creating even old Mo behind the camera that is working so hard behind the scenes. If we could get, because what we believe is what we create. There's the effect called the placebo effect.
Yeah.
And the placebo effect, of those of you who don't know what the placebo effect is if you get prescribed a pill and you believe that this pill is going to cause an effect in your body, even if that pill is just a salt or a sugar or an injection that's just a saline solution.
Yeah.
If you believe it vehemently, this body of yours is so incredible that it actually creates by itself the chemistry that it believes it's getting. Instant manifestation right there. So we're trying to tap into how can we tap our change, because we all want desired change. We haven't really had the desired change for the last couple of years, have we? Which we've all had to roll with.
Yeah.
But I think, so for me it is, if we can get the belief that we are worthy, and that's just a good place to start, that we are worthy because we were created whole, complete, and enough. And there's nothing you need to do to have to prove that to anyone. All you've got to do is just to get to know yourself, where your passions lie, what are your priorities, what are your values, and get in touch with those. And the universe is a very intelligent. It will, like I was nudged on my way, will sometimes nudge every now and again it gave me a good kick in the ass. Yeah. But most of the time it's a good nudge along the way on your path. So as long as you're being authentic, you will find yourself on the way to the desired destination. It might be that the destination might be, if your destination is Joburg and you're in Cape Town, you might end up getting there via Uppington and going around that way, or you might be going via Durban. I mean, there's an infinite amount. But if you have a certain desire, it's going to manifest in some way, shape, or form if you can balance the belief and the desire and alignment.
Yes.
That sounds easy. It's not. And that's why I've created as many tools as I possibly can. And I'm obsessed with success. I call it successology. And I follow the greats. I've got the greats that I would say are like Tony Robbins, who's a master of intervention. He really is good at leveraging change like that. There is Joe Dispenza. He's Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's the guy that does that placebo effect where he measures people and then he sees the change. This guy is making the miraculous normal. He's actually seeing people that had multiple sclerosis, that were in a wheelchair for 10 years. And within a week workshop, they're able to stand up for the first time in 10 years and take a step.
Wow.
That's now, this is like supernatural stuff. It's like these are natural things of the universe that we have suspicious about, that we could tap into, but in the divine way. It's obviously how you channel it. And then, so that's Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then the other one is Dr. John DeMartini. This guy was born like Forrest Gump. He was in leg braces, so his movement was constricted, and he couldn't read or write properly by the age 16. And everyone thought that now, this guy, the teachers and everyone would say, sorry, he's going to be a beach bum, or he's not going to, and he started to believe that, and he never really got anywhere until he actually then said, damn it, I'm going to change now, but he did it his way. So his passions now, interestingly enough, he says that everyone has a unique code of what your values, what your priorities are. We're all different. So tap into that.
Yes.
His one, when he tapped into it, is travel. Because now that he was constricted in the beginning, which showed him this path to, I want to travel, I want to see the world. The other one was his learning and teaching, because he couldn't read or write properly by the age of 16 or so. And then he, just by the desire, he changed it around. They actually regard him as a polymath now. Have you heard the word polymath?
No.
I hadn't either. So anything with math in it, it's like, oh my God, stop. And so polymath is, if Albert Einstein was a natural born genius.
Yeah.
Dr. John DeMartini is a homegrown, learned genius. He's got 30,000 books up here.
Yeah.
So these are the guys that I follow. I really follow a lot of them.
A lot, yeah.
So the first thing, and the next thing you can do is look at your social media. See your social media as the law of attraction. Because whatever you start getting your attention to is going to come up on your feed, So what I do in my feed is I unfollow everything that is not inspiring. I unfollow it, even if you have to block, you block. Okay? You can, if your friends and family are there and they're negative, just you don't have to block them, but you can stop whatever appears in your feed, and then start to follow that which is inspiring. It's like some of the names I've mentioned now. Hopefully you guys will follow, just after you've subscribed to this channel, which is We Are Centurion TV, you'll subscribe to Success Loops Instrumental Inspiration, and take advantage of all the tools that are there.
Yes, no, they must. Now we can talk about this all day, as I can
I'll
see.
talk
Very
tomorrow.
passionate. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed. We've gotten to the exciting part of this interview where Brad is going to be playing an amazing song for us. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like.
All right, let's do this. So this song I wrote, it's on my second album.
Yeah.
So Cunning Brad, there is a Cunning Brad channel as well, which has cover songs as well as my original songs as well. This song I wrote on my second album, I think it's actually the opening, the first track of the album. So even then, it was all about inspiration, finding success, as per usual.
Yeah.
So and the song is entitled "Friends of Mine." Katie, you're a friend of mine. Welcome to the Cunning Brad Hall of Friendship. And this is Friends of Mine. And it's about embracing fame and fortune as friends of mine. Feel free to grab those shakers, Katie. 2, 3, 4. Thinking about big dollars, not dimes. Gotta remind myself about the plus sign. Lord knows it divided my mind, subtracted all of my precious time. Who do I see come around for them? Fame and fortune, my two best friends. Lord knows it's come to me. I can't wait to see myself on TV. We are Centurion TV. Well, I found myself some peace of mind to silence my conscience and quieten my mind. Whatever I seek, I shall surely find. It's fame and fortune, now friends of mine. Friends of mine. Friends of mine. Friends of mine. When I'm looking in the eyes of little Emily, I realize how much has been given to me. Not only her, I'm talking about you. All of my dreams are coming true. Coming true. Who do I see best friend. Lord, I know it's come to me. I can't wait to see myself on TV with KT. And well, found myself some peace of mind to silence my conscience and quiet my mind. Whatever I seek, I should surely find. Fame and fortune are friends of mine. Friends of mine. Friends of mine. Friends of mine. Woo! Thank you. Yeah.
Great.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Oh, that's always nice.
Thanks, guys.
Lovely, lovely,
all
lovely
inspired
performance. Lovely performance.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Is that a wrap? Or we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Can I hand it down here?
You're gonna sleep for like 20
The Big Cigar.